Hi, in this Thinktech Solutions video tutorial, I'm going to show you how to create a multitask lesson. From the teacher dashboard, you can see I have access to all the different apps to have a quick create using any of the apps that I would like. I could create a new lesson. I can go into my task library and find some lessons that I've made before. I could view down to the bottom piece of the screen and see how I've organized my folders or lesson cards, whether it's alphabetical or otherwise. Um, but I can click into a lesson. I was previously just working on a lesson that included, um, let me just go back to my library, that included a lesson about the Neolithic Revolution. So I haven't not yet nested that into my folder, but I'll click on this. And so far there's only one task there. I'm dealing with my social studies class. This is the Neolithic Revolution. And the single task that I showed in a previous video was a Think It question that showed some different items about the word cloud. So if I wanted to continue on to that, I can add a task. And let's suppose that I wanted to create a new task, and maybe instead of the positive aspects, I'll think about the negative aspects. So I'll click on Think It again. And you'll notice immediately that Thinktech creates a teacher timeline bar to the left-hand side. And now I can go in and for my second task, this one's highlighted. First one, if I went back, would highlight that a little bit brighter. I can have a task here. I'll go in and just talk about negative. And I'll leave it like this. I could add some notes, and if I wanted to remove this task, from the lesson, I could do that too. So let me just go ahead and put in a quick question like this. And now I've got two tasks. If I wanted to start the lesson, I can go ahead and click Start, and it would launch with its own unique code. However, there's a couple things here to the left-hand side that are worth pointing out. I could add a pause point. And what a pause point does, it allows the teacher to sort of gate the lesson where I didn't want students to move ahead too quickly without being able to have some conversation. So during a live lesson, I would have to click on this to open up the door, open up the gate to allow students to move into the next task. So I could put that wherever I want, and if I'm not certain that I want it right now, I could trash can that. If during the lesson I want to actually add a question because the kids' conversation is leading us into an area that is worth discussing, I could always add a question in a very similar pattern. So for now, let me just go ahead and show you what two lessons or two tasks look like. I already have a lesson launched, so I'll continue to use that. Here is the positive aspects of the Neolithic Revolution, and you can see here I have the negative changes that the question I just wrote. Now, of course, I already had this launched. I had 27 students in my class answer that question, and I can hide the question, make the word cloud a little bit larger. I can collapse the teacher timeline bar, which is nice to be able to see different things, but it really provides a great opportunity for kids to share their voice, provide their thoughts to the rest of the class as they donate their thinking to others. So let me just show you then, if I wanted to add a task during the lesson, I can click on Add a Task, and it's going to ask me, do I want to create a new one? Because something was just inspired by a student's response, let's say. Or I can go back and cycle back to maybe 2 or 3 days ago, something that we talked about and said, hey, don't you remember we had discussed this? So if I clicked on Existing Task, I can go back into maybe a polling question, and I'll just type in Neolithic to see, oh, and there's one. So I can go in and begin to add something that I wanted to do. So I can click on that. It'll automatically add it in, and it placed it at the bottom of the lesson, but that's a great opportunity to work on the fly and to be able to have some things, the control that you want to have. So once again, this is ThinkTech Solutions, and this was a multitask lesson.